today we're going to make one of these Christmas ornaments. They're pretty easy to make once you get going. It's called a netting technique, and I'm using kind of a medium size bauble underneath there. I like to use a plastic one because I've had cases where when I close them up they've got broken, and you can paint these as well if you want to. So, and we're going to use size 11s, and then on this one I used firepolish, but in the one I'm going to show you today I'm going to use a 4mm bicone. So we're going to start with obviously our needle and thread, and I'm just using a Fireline 6 pound in a crystal color, and I've pulled probably 5-6 foot piece just so that I don't have to add thread, but you can definitely do less. And I'm just using these little silver 11/0s. So to start off, you're going to see how at the top of your piece you have a circle at the top, and that's where we're going to start. Around the top of the bauble here is where your ring is of your first row. So we're going to start with that, and for this bauble I've got 44 beads, so I'm just going to add these first, get those onto the needle, ready to make that first circle that everything else is going to kind of work off of. It's a netting technique. You know, you can make other types of jewelry using this technique, and grows pretty quickly, and so I find these don't take too long to make. Obviously you could use the crystals, fire polish, you could probably use a rondelle as the accent beads, maybe even little 4mm pearls or something like that would be pretty too. We've got the 44 beads on here, and I'm going to bring these all the way down my thread, and when I get to the end I'm going to tie it into a circle. So I'm going to take my two ends, and I'm just going to tie a knot there. And I'm going to basically make 2 knots there. So I'm going to pull it up close. See? Yeah. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of do it with my needle so I can hold it a bit. Tuck my tail back through. I can pull that down into 2 and then just gently pull them together so that I've got a circle there. And then once I've got the circle, I'll go through just 2 or 3 beads on the other side here. So I'll just tuck that through where the knot was and go through, wiggle my way through. Maybe I'll just go through 4. So you can see we're going to go in multiples of 4. So that way that's kind of where your finish on is, right on where that tail is. All right, so now I have my tail coming out on this side, and I kind of hold that sometimes as I'm working, and then the ring ready to go. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick up a bicone, and you're going to pick up 9 of these silver 11/0s. Okay, we've got that on there, and that's our first piece that's coming off. I'm going to keep showing you like the one that's done, because I think it's helpful sometimes to kind of see where we're going on this. So I'm basically making this strip here. So we're starting at the top, and I'm basically working down the piece. So we're going to add this crystal and the 9, and then we're going to repeat that. So we're going to do crystal and 9, crystal and 9, and crystal and 9 to the bottom. So basically you're doing the same piece here, and then we're repeating it another 3 times. So another crystal, another 9, another crystal, 3 on there. Pull these down. Okay, I'm going to do one more. So we've got our little sections here, four sections. And then when we get to the bottom, we're going to add another bicone and 3 little crystals right here. And pull those down. And then we're going to work our way back up. So this is going to be our little picot at the bottom. So we're going to basically take our needle and we're going to go back up through the crystal. So I'm just going to hold these out the way and then go back through that crystal. Pull my thread through. And then you can see how I'm just going to cinch this up. So now I have this little picot on the bottom, like so. And then as we work, this is going to pull up a little tighter. And then we're going to work our way up back through the work. Add a few more. So then we're going to take another 9 seed beads. Picked up another 9 beads. And this time, when I come back up, I'm trying to make kind of a section that looks the same as before, but I'm going to make 2 little diamond shapes. So I'm going to put on 9, look like I did here, and then I'm going to actually end up going through this crystal right here. So I'm going to do 9 beads and a crystal, and then another 9 beads. So I'll bring this down, and I like to kind of lay it out like this so you can kind of see instead of holding it. So see how now we've got a duplicate here of that we had in the first row, and so we're going to join this by going through this one here. So this third one down, if you want to say, the middle one, and we're going to come up from the bottom to the top. So I'm going to go through that one. So now I have this, and basically I'm going to repeat that at the top section as well. So 9 seed beads. And a crystal, and another 9. I tend to want to double check even though I counted. So now I have another section like that, and I'm going to go up through this one that's in the top of the ring. So we're going to go from bottom to top, top being closest to the ring, and connect that one. Okay, so that's our first little section. Now, before we do the next piece, we're going to have to move around the ring. So where we've come out the top there, you'll see we're going to go through 4 beads. So we're going to go back through 4 and get in place, ready to make our next row. And then just like we did the first time, we're going to start with a crystal because that's up there close, and we're going to add 9 seed beads. We're always going to go through this kind of pattern of 1 and 9, or miss 1 or go through 1 to make up for that crystal. So, and as you can see, we've got we've kind of gone down and we've gone up, and now we're kind of heading back down again. So at this point, we want to be able to join these together to make this like V shape that goes around the top here. So we've made a line, and now we're going to need to come back in and work our zigzag down our bead, our bauble again. So we've added this one and we've added our 9. So what we want to do is we want to go through this crystal from the previous row and then continue. So just like we skipped over these on the way back through here, we skipped this one and we went through the middle, and then we skipped one and went up the top. This time we're kind of doing the opposite. So we're going to do the crystal and the 9, and then we're going to go through this first one. And if you think about it, like this one only has 1 thread going through it, and this one has 2 threads going through it. So you're always going through the one that only has 1 thread. And we're coming off the ring. So now we're going down away from the ring till we get to the bottom. So we're going down. I'm going to hold it this time because it'll be a little easier. And now we've made that first little V. Now we're not going to need to add through this one because this already has 2 threads. So now we're going to repeat this pattern here of 9 and a crystal and 9. 9 crystal. Down, and then we're going to skip over this one because this already has 2 threads, and we're going to go through this one that has 1 thread going through it, putting our needle in the direction of going down the bauble if you think of the ring as the top. So we're on our way down, and now we've made that next section. And now we're going to make our bottom piece again. So we're going to add 9 and a crystal. And then we want to make our little picot on the bottom just like we did that first time. So we're going to take 3 beads. I'm going to go back up through the crystal in the opposite direction, and that way it'll pull them into that little picot. We don't get a knot in it along the way. Okay, and you can pull it up nice and snug to the other beads. And so now we're going to work our way back up like we did the first time, but like basically this first pattern that we did when we came, this was our first row, and then we came back this way and we attached in the middle here at the top and in the middle, and we did this run. So we're doing exactly the same thing that we did on the way back up last time. We're going to take 9 seed beads, I'm going to do a crystal, I'm going to do another 9, and then I'm going to go, I'm trying to make this little loop like this. So I'm going to go up through that crystal in the middle. And you can kind of see now the repeating pattern here. So 9 crystal. back up here through our one at the top. And if you want, you can kind of go through those next 4 at the same time. Kind of if you put it at an angle, you can work your way, wiggle that through there, so that you're going through 4 beads as well when you pull that up. So you're ready for your next row. So now we have 2 sections like that. And then you're ready for your next one. So you're just gonna, that's not the right way. So then you're just gonna repeat this up and down pattern until you work yourself all the way around. So I'm just gonna keep going with that. Okay, I kept going, and this is where I started from. We started, and I've worked my way around, and hopefully you bead along and you'll get to that point. And then basically what I have left is, this is my starting thread here and my beginning thread. I've ended up at the same place, so I've got 8 beads here in between. So now I'm about to do this last little section, so I'm just gonna keep going the way I was. We're starting from the top. Through my crystal. And sometimes you know, it can get tricky near the end, and you might even want to put it onto the bauble to finish it, and I'm going to show you that in a second. Just doing this final row. I'm going to put my picot on, and I'm going to go back through that crystal to kind of finish that last row before I zip it up here. So now you've gone all the way around, and you have this little gap in the middle. So I'm going to stick it on a bauble here just to make it easier. I find it a little easier to zip it up this way. Make sure they're all turned around the right way. Okay. So you can see there's just the 4 gap in the top of this last 2, and basically what we need to do is we need to join these last 2 sections together. So you can see they need to be joined. So now I'm going to add my 9 beads. Start with 9, as we did with the seed beads all along, always sets of 9. And instead of picking up a crystal like I would here, where I do crystal and 9 again, I'm going to go over to this side. That's why it's fun to kind of hold it on the ball. So I'm going to go over to the other side where my other picot is over here. So here's the one I'm on, and this is my picot from my last row on the other side. And I'm going to go through this crystal right here. So you're going to go through that first crystal, even though where it's got a single thread, and that's kind of how you know, again, is it's your single thread. Go drop. There we go. So we're going to go through there. I'm just going to hold it as I do it. Kind of hard to see what I'm doing. Okay. I'll bring it up. You see how it's going to kind of zip this together. There. And now I'm going to add 9 again. So instead of picking up a crystal where we would do 9 and then a crystal and then another 9, basically I picked up 9 and used the crystal from the other side, and now I'm adding my other 9. And now I know I'm not going to go over here. I've got to go back over this side where this single is. So again, I'm going to take it and I'm going to go through that single on this side and pull this across again. And then I'm going to pick up another 9. So this last piece you're not picking up crystals. And so if I'm looking at where I've got to go, well, I know I don't go there because that's your double thread. I know I've got to go over here to this one. A little space in there. And that's basically your last piece, other than this going up to the top. So we've got to go 9 more. And if you just lay it, you can see that that's your final piece there, which means I've got to go back up through this top crystal. And that finishes all of my rows. Okay, so at this point you can take it off again because it's a little easier to go back through. And I'm going to work my way back around that circle. So I'm going to just go through the 4 like I did at the beginning. Make sure that tightens everything up. And then I'm going to start tying off my thread, but I kind of like to go back around a few more beads at a time. So maybe I'll go about another 2 here. And then when we finish off, you know how we go under your thread, make a little loop, go back through the loop, and then I just gently pull it down until it goes in between those 2 beads. Give a little pull. Through, say, another 4. And then under till I get my loop, and then kind of situate this thread in between those 2 so that when I pull it, it's going to fall in that little gap. Again, a little knot in there, and just continue around to kind of finish. And then you're going to do the, break off your thread. And then you can add your needles here to this other end that you started with and kind of work back the other around the circle in that way. And then that's you're done. You're going to put it back on here, and you can have it hanging down at the bottom. You should put your piece of your ornament back in the top here. That kind of helps hold everything in place, in the right place too. So if it's a little loose, that'll kind of give that little extra thickness around the top to hold it in place. And you'll see how it kind of hangs down at the bottom. It's really pretty on the tree, a little bit of sparkle. And on this one, you'll see how I kind of closed in the bottom of it, so it held it more tight. Some people like to just leave them hanging. Hope you enjoy. All the supplies are available in our store, Beads and Brushstrokes. If you don't find it online at our site, beadsandbrushstrokes.com, then you can give us a call and we can get supplies out to you for this too. Thanks for watching.